Good evening and welcome to Palais de Congrès as we get set for the Canadian Open Martial Arts Championships here on Rogers TV. Chris Messina alongside Michael Bernardo. We will be the announcers for the fights that you'll be seeing this evening. Michael, obviously this is the second of 2 days in the event. What have we seen through the first day and a half so far?
Well, we started with eliminations on Friday, and we've had competitors from all across North America, ranging in age from 6 years and under, right up to veteran men, 42 years and older. Over the 2 days, we did eliminations, and tonight we're going to see the best of the best.
All right, and we'll take a look at some of the events that we're going to be watching tonight. Are there a couple here that maybe stand out that some of our viewers should make note of?
I think the elite fighting, I'm really looking forward to. We have some of the top fighters, not only in North America, but world champions that are going to be on stage tonight fighting. And we start off with 8 men and 4 women, and they're going to fight down to a champion.
That one should be good. And you see the last 6 here. To round it all out, is there a couple on that board there you're looking at?
We have some great head-to-head forms and weapons competitions that I think the audience is really going to like, as well as some junior team fighting events that I think are very exciting.
And of course, Mike, you got fighters from all over North America here participating this weekend. Where do some of these guys come from?
Well, I mean, 2 of the gentlemen we're going to see tonight, 2 of the best, are from California. We have other fighters from Boston and Michigan, so it's a great assembly of talent.
There you go. It is truly the North American Championship. So we'll be right back here at Palais de Congrès in just a moment as we are watching the Canadian Open Martial Arts Championships on Rogers TV. Welcome back to Palais de Congrès in Gatineau as we get set to begin the Canadian Open Martial Arts Championships. Chris Messina alongside Michael Bernardo here for the events this evening. And Michael, we are starting off with the elite men's, and it's the quarterfinal event.
Yeah, we're going to have the quarterfinals coming up. Our top 8 fighters from the past 2 days are going to be competing, and they're going to fight down to 1 winner through the course of this show. And we're going to start tonight, we're going to have a demonstration. We have 2 little demonstrations. Our first one is going to be a weapons form. And basically a kata or a form is an imaginary fight against opponents. And this is Jennifer Liu from Douvris Martial Arts, and she's going to be doing a bow staff form.
Yeah, it's Jennifer Liu with the opening demonstration. And maybe just explain what exactly she was doing.
Well, she was a black belt. She's actually a world champion. She's one of Canada's best. She's 11 years old, and you were seeing, you know, the concentration, the power, and the speed. Now on stage, we have some of our youngest. I mentioned in the opening, these gentlemen are both 8 years old, and they're going to be demonstrating some of the sparring before we bring out the professional men. We have Nico Couture from Douvris Martial Arts and Alexis Lefrancois from Kicks Martial Arts.
Of course, Douvris is a local.
Yeah, John Douvris, who's the Canadian national team coach. He has his school and training center here in the Ottawa area. And some of the competitors you're going to see tonight train with John, including little Nico, who's an up-and-coming star here in the martial arts. And you see the 3 judges on the floor. You need a majority of the 3 in order to score a point. So when the fighters stop the fight, the judges, he looks at the other 2 corners to see if there's a majority call. And that was just a minute match, but just to give you an idea, and we wanted to bring up some of the younger competitors, and they did an awesome job. Trophies all around for the little kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of trophies. We're looking at the display before the event started, and there's a ton of trophies, ton of medals.
Yeah, there was over 160 divisions throughout the course of the weekend. All the different age and belt categories had a level of competition. But now we're getting into the elite men. These are the men who've won, you know, all their fights throughout the weekend, and we have 8 finalists. And our first 2 here are Cody Deesberg from London, Ontario, and Doug Klatskin from Burlington, Ontario. These matches are 2 minutes, and there's 2 rounds of 2 minutes with a minute break in between. See, action gets pretty fast with the older competitors, the men.
Still a minute 24 left in the round. You can kind of see that clock in the back of your shot, but obviously sometimes it's blocked.
Yep, and the score is 4-1 for Cody. And again, they're looking for clean techniques, punches and kicks, everything above the belt. They have to touch, but they have control with their techniques. And what they're looking for is a punch or kick that isn't blocked by the opponent. If the judges see it, if that would have been a knockout technique, say on the street, then that's what they're calling for the point. It's 1 point for all punches and kicks, but you get 2 points if you can land a head kick. Now these 2 fighters are both from Ontario, and they're familiar with each other. They've fought, you know, different events. Cody, you can actually see, has a mask on. He actually had an injury at an event 2 weeks prior, I think fighting in Buffalo. And so he's wearing the mask just for protection, to protect his nose.
And so these guys are pretty busy. They fight every couple weeks then, or?
Yeah, I mean, some tournaments obviously are a lot bigger like this one, but there's probably a tournament in a local area maybe once a month. And Cody's at that event in Buffalo, yeah, and he, you know, got hit in the nose, so we're protecting, you know, safety of the fighter has to come first all the time.
30 seconds.
So Cody is the more experienced fighter here, and he has a 9-3 lead. Scores 9-5 for Cody, and right now his coach is going to go over basic strategy. He seems to have been having a lot of success leading with that lead leg and following with his punches. It's basic, but if you're up 9-5, you want to keep it the same. On the other side, Doug Klaskin's going to have to figure out a way to get around that lead leg kick, and try to narrow the score. In our matches, you have to win by 2 points. So even though he's behind by 4 right now, if he can get within 1 in the second round, that'll at least take him to overtime. And there's that 2-point head kick that we're talking about. Cody's just a very good kicker. And there's that 2-point head kick again. Looks like his coach gave him some good advice in the in between rounds.
13-6 now. Still 1:14 left in the round.
Yeah, I mean, Doug's a competitive fighter, and he's experienced, and he's going to keep going. He's going to keep fighting hard for the whole 2 minutes. We've seen leads, even though it's 6 points right now, fighters can come back as long as they stay in there and keep going. Now, the only time a match would stop is if a 10-point spread occurs. Then, that fighter automatically wins. And here we got 14-10. Cody still has the lead. And he knows Doug has to come at him now. So he's going to, forces Doug to almost run into some kicks sometime. But you have to be aggressive when you're behind.
So we're going to be seeing him again in about an hour or so?
Yep, he's going to fight again. He actually is going to fight the winner of this next fight. This is one of the really, I'm looking forward to this fight. You have Richard Plowden, who's from Detroit, and Jack Felton is one of our fighters from California he's going to be going against. And again, these are two of the best fighters in the world. Jack Felton from California, he is just so quick with those hands off the line. He's not the biggest fighter in this competition. In fact, I think he weighs in about 150 pounds. He's probably the lightest weight, but he's the fastest. And this is a game of speed. You have to be quick to try to hit first.
He's down 2 points to 1 right now.
Yeah. And that was a warning. They have to stay in the ring. So if a fighter just leaves on his own accord to avoid the fight, then they get a warning. After the third warning, his opponent would actually receive a point. Both these aggressive fighters, that's not going to be a problem keeping them in the ring, though.
Seconds.
It was a good first round, 7-4 for Richard Plowden. Richard has a big advantage because his dad is his coach and his instructor, Richard Plowden Sr., who is one of the greatest point fighters of all time. Here we just see that lead back fist that Richard's throwing with that left hand. Just, you know, using that reach. He's a little bit taller than Jack, and he's trying to keep Jack at a distance. Jack Felton uses his speed. He has to try to get inside that long reach with the left hand. And I'm sure Richard's telling his son right now to try to keep the fight at a distance, because that's where he has the advantage, being a little bit taller, a little bit bigger man. Yesterday, both of these gentlemen competed in the team competition, and Jack's team, which is the All-Star team, sponsored by this top 10 company, actually won the team competition. So these guys have even built up a rivalry just over the course of this weekend. And again, Richard's just using that size, trying to stay tall to avoid getting kicked to the head, and then trying to use that lead hand.
So minute 30 now left here in the second round.
Yeah, and I would say right now Richard's got a great strategy. He's you know, using that lead jab, using his size, and unless Jack can kind of turn it around here, he's you know, he's got 5 points to go. Oh, that was a nice punch right there. That's what he needed to do. Use both his hands and try to close that distance between the two fighters.
11-6 now for Plowden.
Yeah, and this would be something of an upset. I mean, Jack's had a great weekend. Again, like I said, his team had won, and he is the more experienced fighter. I believe he's 26. Richard, his son's only 19. And this would be an upset if Richard can hold this lead. What he can't do, though, is sit back, because Jack's going to keep coming down 4 points. And sometimes fighters, they get a bit of a lead, and they start going into a defensive mode, and it's tough to win if you're, you know, if you fall back.
Notice too, Jack Felt's cut right on his right cheekbone.
Yeah, he has a little, you know, they have control. Obviously, if they were trying to hit full out, you know, you'd have kickboxing, you'd have full contact fighting. Well, Jack's trying to close the gap. It's 12-9. He's got 14 seconds. If he can get within a point, this match will go to overtime. And time. And oh, that was a bit of an upset. Richard Plowden's going to move on, and he'll fight Cody Deesberg in the next round.
Richard Plowden will move on to the semifinals. Coming up next for our next match. On our left
so now we
side
got
stage,
Raymond Daniels against Jason Grenier.
Jason Grenier. Oh, this is going to be another great match. Raymond Daniels, also from California, probably considered pound for pound the best sport fighter that we have right now.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Grenier is from Montreal, so he's somewhat of a local boy. And, you know, this is a big match for him. He can make a name for himself, you know, going against someone of Raymond's caliber.
He's got the mask on, as we saw with Cody earlier.
Again, an injury from a month ago, so again, he's protecting himself from that injury as well. Both of these gentlemen are just excellent kickers.
And these two guys are a little bigger than the other fighters we've seen as well.
Yeah. And this elite fighting is the open weight class. So, I mean, all different weights and sizes. They also fought in their actual divisions. Raymond Daniels was the actual division winner for the heavyweights. That's a good start for Jason. If he can build up some confidence in this fight, score some early points, that's going to go a long way. Now, of course, Raymond is not going to let him get too much momentum, that's for sure.
So can you be deductive points if you hit someone out of bounds?
Yeah, if you throw a foul would be like a low kick, anything where they're trying to maybe hurt each other, kick out of bounds. Yes, they can be. Wow, and that was a great kick right there. Sorry, but he actually fell, and you need to have balance when you throw your punch or kick. So if you fall to the ground, even if the kick lands, it's not a point. But yeah, getting back to the fouls. I mean, you know, martial arts is based on respect, and you know, it's taught to them just as white belts, as juniors, to always have respect. But, you know, these competitors respect each other, so that's why you don't see the low hits or, you know, punches out of bounds, stuff like that.
Still only 1 point on each side awarded, and we're a minute and a half into this first round.
Different matches, you know, this seems to be more like a chess match right now. Raymond's having a hard time kind of figuring out, you know, the distance on Jason. He's doing a good job. And what I was looking for in this match, Jason being, you know, less experienced than Raymond, was to take it into the second round close. Because if you can get confidence, any fighter, if they have confidence in the ring, become very difficult to beat. And you can see it right now, the confidence that Jason's building up. His score is still 2-1.
Let's go, Ray!
And they have 3 seconds if they go to the ground to score a point. They're not allowed to kick to the head if the person falls to the ground for safety, of course, but they have 3 seconds to actually try to score.
Oh, here's a look at some of what we saw in that first round.
Yeah, you see Jason trying to cover that distance. He's been the aggressor. Oh, that was a nice kick, but again, the fall just isn't the balance. Raymond Daniels, though, is going to come out pretty strong at the beginning of this second round. What he'd like to do is probably get a lead right off the bat and then make Jason fight offensively so he can sit back and try to pick him off for points.
And we're starting round 2.
Raymond's got that lead again, 3-1. So he's going to make Jason try to come forward.
Stop time.
It's saying hit him with his helmet.
Yeah, that face guard. I think on the clinch, they
you can see he's cut right above his left eye too.
And again, you know, not a punch or a kick, but it looks like on the clash that they actually banged heads. And, you know, so they're going to have the medic take a look.
So now they stop the clock in a situation like this, and the medic assesses them.
Yeah, the medic has to assess, you know, what's up. And then, of course, you know, the judge is going to talk about, since it was from the mass, obviously wasn't intentional. You know, it was an accidental. I think we're going to kind of see the exchange. I think as he's coming up with his head,
yeah,
it looks like,
so
yeah.
Yeah, you can see right away, yeah, it must have been right there. Because he grabbed his...
Yeah. So this says he came up with his head, so kind of a fluky thing.
Round 2.
Now, he's got a 4-1 lead here, so he's got the 3 points.
He's got 3 points, and you know, by look, he looks pretty good, and I think, you know, shouldn't affect him at all. But, I mean, here we are. Jason Grenier's down 3 as a minute 15, probably in one of the biggest matches that he's been in. So he's going to have to, you know, press the issue now and take it to Raymond. But, of course, Raymond knows he's coming forward. And it looks like there is an accidental low kick there. Well, that was a jump, very nice jump spin back kick, but of course the judges have to see it for it to count.
First time tonight, someone's gone off the stage.
Yep, he just lost his balance, but he'll be back. Looks like he's talking in the crowd. Raymond's known as one of our more colorful fighters. He has a great personality, and you'll notice a lot of the junior kids when he's fighting are around the ring, because he's somewhat of a hero in the martial arts community, and a lot of the kids, you know, look up to him. And he also does a lot of seminars, a lot of teaching as well. And they just couldn't see it on the other side. You need to have the 2 out of the 3. And Jason could have used that kick. Oh, and Raymond just built the lead to 4, 5-1. Oh, and that takes skill to duck the kick like that and come back up with your hands. Oh, and there's that 2-point kick Jason's been looking for the whole match.
He's got to be quick here. He's got 2 seconds now to get to within 2 points.
Pretty
6-3 the score.
Pretty hard, because you know Raymond's just going to do that.
Well, they actually added 2 more seconds. The clock's just 4 seconds to finish up.
And there you go. So Raymond Daniels moves on. That was, you know, Jason Grenier fought a great fight. Maybe just a little bit too much experience with Raymond there. And there's that 2-point kick. That was probably his best kick in the fight.
We'll continue on to the semifinals. Moving on next to our next category, our elite fighting women's semifinals. Coming up on our left side of the stage.
Right now, we were supposed to have Ross Levine.
Yeah, Ross Levine actually had an injury today and couldn't continue. So Marco Endrovich is going to move on into the final 4 fighters. But now we're going to go to the quarterfinals of the women elite fighting. Sorry, the semifinals. Yes, we're down to our top 4.
Couldn't tell on the sheet if it was a typo or not that they gave us, but
no.
So I guess there's been more of the elite fighting for the women earlier in the last day and a half.
Yeah, I think they started in the tournament. We probably had over 30, 35 black belt women who are fighting. We're down to our top 4. This is Morgan Plowden. We saw our brother fighting, and it's kind of the sport martial arts first family there out of Detroit, the Plowdens. And Morgan's an excellent fighter, and she's fighting Nicole Triplett, who's from London, Ontario, who's actually one of my students from Bernardo Karate. And this is a big fight for Nicole. Morgan's you know, a little bit bigger fighter, a little bit more experienced fighter. And Nicole has to get her distance. She ran into that side kick, and that's what Morgan's going to do. She has a... Oh, and Nicole just answered with a side kick, so that was nice. And that's a strong leg Morgan has, that left leg when she throws it. You know, I think she does a lot of sparring with her brother, you know.
1 minute.
And the dad coaches both of them.
Yeah, the dad coaches both of them. He actually